Okay, Senator Clinton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Although we are making opening remarks, I want to begin by welcoming someone whom I have a great deal of regard for, Dr. George Thurston, to the committee. Dr. Thurston is on the faculty at New York University School of Medicine, where he conducts investigations into the human health effects of air pollution. He's truly one of the leading scientists in this field, and I'm pleased that he will be testifying on the second panel. I have particular regard for Dr. Thurston because when I was raising questions about the quality of air after 9/11, and the administration was assuring everyone that there were no problems in the air and that, in fact, everything was fine, Dr. Thurston was one of those who said, this is just not squaring with the scientific work I've done. Well, now, nearly 5 years later, we have hundreds and hundreds of firefighters, police officers, construction workers, residents, and others who are suffering from respiratory distress. Now, that was an intense experience because the air was so contaminated with everything that came from the World Trade Center. And we can look at that and we can draw some conclusions about the impact of such a horrible event. But it's also true that after 9/11, when all the planes were grounded, there are a lot of pictures showing how clean the air was. We are facing a very serious question here. This is an important issue, not just in New York, but across our country. Since the 1997 revisions to the particulate matter standards, numerous scientific studies have been published. These have not been partisan studies. These have not been ideological studies. They have ranged from scholarly academic studies like Dr. Thurston to the American Lung Association. These studies have overwhelmingly strengthened the links between particulate pollution and a range of adverse health outcomes, including asthma, heart attacks, hospital admissions, adverse birth outcomes, and premature death. Some recent studies have even linked long-term particulate matter exposure to increased risk of lung cancer. In addition, our understanding of the biological mechanisms at work help explain these links better than we understood back in 1997. So I was dismayed when the EPA disregarded the advice of its Clean Air Science Advisory Committee. You know, when CASAC recommended what it thought needed to be done, the EPA decided not to lower the annual PM standard in its proposed revisions. This action prompted a letter back to the EPA from CASAC, which I think is unprecedented. That letter reiterated the CASAC's finding, all of these scientists who have no particular axe to grind, and I quote, "The epidemiological evidence supported by emerging mechanistic understanding indicates adverse PM 2.5 health effects below 15 micrograms per cubic meter," end quote. Now, I think the science is clear, and one of the reasons the air is cleaner today is that for more than 30 years we've been cleaning it up, so we have a little bit in the bank. But that's not going to stand. So, Mr. Chairman, I hope that we will go with the lower standard, and I ask unanimous consent to submit the full statement to the record.
Without objection, Senator Carper.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.